was hoping you would react to Salt's recent Destiny tweet. Salt who? Oh, Salt Agrepo. Brad, I know you're not much into the Twitter side of things regarding Destiny, but Salt Grepo made a tweet on the state of D2 sandbox or balance. Was curious about your take, buddy. Since you're a new player, therefore, I think your opinion is truly valuable. Can somebody give me a paragraph-long TLDR because it's like 10 paragraphs, and then I'll genuinely formulate an opinion. Okay, so TLDR, it's mostly about the state of the game and how strong Prismatic Titan is right now, and how there needs some balancing when it comes to the health on some ads. Most of it was providing examples and values, but most of it was just how they could change power creep and what changes they should do to keep in-game PvE hard, but also making it so new players aren't scared to load into raids. Going further on, really talked about how the barrier to entry on raids is really high right now, and there are so many things going on that it scares new players off. Me personally, what's scaring new players off is the lack of solo content and the importance of group content. And without Bungie delivering a good system to incorporate individuals into having a fun group experience, I don't think no matter what you do to guns and mobs or whatever, it's going to help. In my personal opinion, to really introduce people into group content and whatnot, I think it needs to be more group-friendly stuff. Like, you be able to have, like, player-owned instances in the game, like, for clans and whatnot. More reason to get into a clan and whatnot, because there really isn't much of a reason to be in a clan right now, to be honest with you, other than some loot from the tower. That's what I've noticed from streaming the past almost 6 months from Destiny, that most people don't get into raids, not because they're difficult, not because they're easy, but because they don't have friends to play with. I think maybe just making that a little bit more user-friendly, because same thing with our Discord. We like to keep the UI very, we use the phrase of like dad-friendly, like the 45-year-old dad that comes home from work can join the Discord, see how simplistic it is, and be able to get involved with some things. That's why we don't have 1,000 different channels, so many different emojis all over the channels where it looks like eye candy. So if you keep it simple and user-friendly, I think you'll have more of a positive response from it, in my opinion. Clan system needs a revamp too. More incentive to be in one. Yeah, make clans bigger. The 100-person cap for clans is ridiculous. Another thing that's also ridiculous is having to go to the Bungie website to be able to get into clans. That should all be done within game. Going outside of the game just to get into a clan and whatnot, that shouldn't be a thing. That sounds like something from the early 2000s, to be honest with you. That needs to be updated, in my opinion. Make it easier for people to get into clans, leave clans, because every step that you create is a step for another person to use it as an excuse to not execute it. So eliminating those steps would help invite people to get into these things. Does that make sense? A lot more people will turn down something with 4 steps rather than 3 steps. That's what I would do. I don't really want to have a conversation, in my personal opinion, about guns, metas, the power creep. I don't even want to have a conversation about inviting new players into the game. I want to start the conversation at how do we get players that are currently in the game to actually play the content that's in the game? Because most people aren't doing the content in the game that are playing every day. So I think we should start there. For an example, I think a lot of the high-end PvP players are talking about trials in game and having like a 50, like 20, 25 win streak rewards, but we don't need rewards for those guys because they're already engaged in that content. How do we invite people that are playing the game now to be introduced into that content? I think we're talking about the wrong thing there for players being engaged in content, but that's what I think personally. That's just what I've gathered from you guys, talking to you guys on stream, in the Discord, in the chat and whatnot. That's what I've gathered. Could be wrong there, but that's just my opinion. I played Destiny on and off for years now, and I haven't had the chance to get in GMs, dungeons, or raids. Before I joined this community, it opened up a whole new way to play Destiny for me. Thanks for bringing... Doc Hamsty. Doc Hamsty, thank you so much for the kind words. I haven't 0 friends who play Destiny, so I only do seasonal stuff, campaign, and nightfall, GM with LFG. See, Totes My Goats is definitely one of those people I'm talking about. This game is not solo friendly. You need friends to play with to be able to fully appreciate the value that Bungie's cooked up with this game. You need friends. You need them. You can't use LFG, man. We tried to use LFG and it was a fucking shit show. It's just not user friendly. It's not the answer. We need another answer. His point was the hardest content in the game, trials, comp for PvP, GM Nightfalls, raid, and dungeons in PvE is tuned for the same 5 most powerful builds. It makes it so the majority of exotic weaponry and armor is well as much of the subclass abilities that are available in game are not used in any content. He presents some different ideas to level the playing field across different game difficulty levels, but his overall hope is that in the future of Destiny, you could pick any exotic armor and build a useful class around it that could be impactful in in-game content. Well, when you word it like that, I don't see the, I don't see how that's wrong there. I do think in-game PvE players and Trials players deserve their rewards to set them apart. Otherwise, we will lose those players too. Night Out, kindly disagree. We're not losing those players. But I also say that I'm with you on giving them their rewards. However, I don't think that needs to be the main objective right now. It's inviting current players into those different activities. And I think that needs to be priority. Definitely put that on the back burner and absolutely give them their rewards. But maybe have more something that's more beneficial for the community as a priority, in my opinion, because it's tough. I played about 7 games of Trials on Friday. I matched with every streamer with more viewers than me that day, set in 7 games. And that's not just a coincidence. That's crazy. I can't express enough how great this community has been. It has been amazing playing with everyone. I'm not usually the type of person to just jump in and play with people. I don't know, but all the people here are so great. Thank you for your insight, Shannon. Seriously. That means a lot. Myself, my mods, and even you guys in this community have done a lot of work and put a lot of time in just making friends, being friendly, throwing around some banter, some shade, having a good time, and also vetting people and letting people know that they're not welcome with a specific mindset. So that credit goes to you guys, man. I'm just the captain of the ship. We're all hanging out on the ship, and you guys are the crew doing your own thing. And I appreciate what you guys have done for me and this community. To really get into making builds, so that pretty much has me coming back to the game and seasonal activities. Yeah, switching up the meta is great. I know a lot of people complain about the meta and stuff like that, but for a live service game, they're doing a really good job at like switching up what's good each season. I've only played 2 seasons or a season and a half so far, but from what I've seen, they're doing a good job at doing that, even though sometimes something might be a little bit overpowered in a specific activity or whatnot, but that just comes with the nature of switching up the meta. It's going to happen. Also, another thing, sometimes OP builds can be fun, and I think we need to focus on what is fun in a video game rather than what is fair and balanced. I think the fun aspect is way more important than that. I remember the day I switched from a Warlock to a Titan. I did that specifically because of the Arc Titan. And now I just unlocked the Prismatic subclass. I'm having so much fun with the Titan build. Is it going to get nerfed and changed in some way in the future? Yeah, but I'm having fun with it right now while it's OP. And sometimes these things are okay to be a little bit past balanced because it takes a lot of time and effort to even acquire these things. You not only have to do the final campaign of the game, but you also have to do the side missions afterwards to even unlock these things. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that, or maybe have something that to talk about with your friends or whatnot with you know, that talking point. But it needs to happen because Destiny obviously isn't in the best spot right now, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird spot where people don't know the future, how the future is going to unfold, and the player numbers aren't as high. I saw the player numbers. I'm not going to say they're the best right now. But the positive side to that is there's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of improving that they could implement into the game to bring back and to bring forward players. So that should be a positive takeaway from this side of things, in my opinion.